Hi guys, and welcome to Mr. Mechanical. What I wanted to do is just a brief video. I just wanted to show you some of the processes I'm going through, trying to think how I'm going to make this mini Caterham and some of the more complex parts. So here you can see in AutoCAD at the moment I'm detailing up the gearbox. What I've done is I've took the maximum RPM and the maximum speed that I'd like to get from this car. I've thought about the wheel diameters, and so from that I've come up with some gear ratios that will get me that speed based on that max RPM. Now I know there may be some error in there. There's going to be weight, which is going to put more strain on the engine loading through the gearbox torque, but if I can get somewhere near my figure, which is 60 mile an hour, by the way, I'd be happy with that. The other thing I need to think about is how I'm going to get the clutch arrangement to work. At the moment I'm looking at like a friction type thing. So what I was thinking of having is having this arrangement where I have 4 pads, similar, almost like a brake drum in reverse, where the pads as well as the drum is rotating. So here, what I plan to do is to add in some springs under the heads of these cap head screws. So that's going to force those pads inwards. So then to engage the clutch, I'd be looking at creating like a tapered race so that a lever would push this green race forward, and that would push the pads out. So that's what I'm thinking about. And here in white we've got this is the flywheel that the pads would then grip to. I'm also planning on putting a pilot bearing, I think that's the right word, just on the inside of that flywheel, so the input shaft from the gearbox would sit in that bearing and keep everything aligned. So there it is. So that's going to be a little way down the line in terms of building the Caterham, but I wanted to start looking at it now because, as you can imagine, it's going to take a lot of thinking about, and there's going to be design flaws to think about, and obviously it's going to progress as well as I build the car. There may be obstructions that I need to think about. What I am thinking about doing is getting into casting aluminium. I would really like to cast the housing of the gearbox in 2 halves from aluminium and then machine it. So that's potentially an upcoming video series where I start researching casting and getting equipment together to do that, probably making my own foundry, my own furnace. Here as well you can see what I plan to do is just get some bought-in items. So the output shaft from the gearbox, I'll probably put a small universal joint on there with a 8mm drive shaft, and then I'll still need to design the differential for the rear, where the 2 drive shafts will come off the back. So the next upcoming video on the Caterham is going to be for the 4 wishbones, the suspension arms, whatever you prefer to call them, which are these here. So there's going to be 2 of each of these required. Got 2 upper front, 2 upper rear, 2 lower front and 2 lower rear. I've also, what I managed to do was get hold of the CAD drawing for, I believe it's a Cortina, Ford Cortina front upright. I've scaled that down to match the scale of my car, and from that I'm trying to create a basic design for the front upright using them critical dimensions of the fixing points. Something that I'm able to make without it being overly complex, so I'm still working on that. But yeah, I'm starting to think about the suspension, making my own coil over shock absorbers. So I plan to make them by the springs and put them shock absorbers together. Here you can see the front upright I was talking about. I plan to put like a stub axle that'll thread into that upright. And at the moment what I'm doing is I'm just designing the rear upright. I took the design from the book and I'm just trying to make it work with bearings that I can buy. So all I wanted to do is just show you the process I'm going through in designing this in a Caterham. Maybe you can help me, especially with the design of the gearbox and the clutch. This is just my first idea on how the clutch might work. Maybe there's a better way of doing it that you could share with us, or you could maybe there's a video you've seen on YouTube, you could point me in the direction of a similar sort of thing. Just to give you an idea, the diameter of this flywheel is 72 millimeters, so we're talking about a really small clutch. Now it might be something that's already been thought of. I'm sure there are clutches used in RC car world, but what I'd like to do is, rather than it being a centrifugal clutch, I'd prefer to be engaged with a servo. So this is just a wishful idea. I'd like to be able to disengage the clutch and basically rev the engine, just to show off a bit, but also then engage the clutch with a servo and drive the gearbox. So I would appreciate any ideas you might have. Maybe you know a bit about clutches and how they can be made or designed. So yeah. So the next video of some actual work will be on Friday. I'm hoping to get the video of making those suspension arms and wishbones uploaded. So please check back here on Friday. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you again next time.